What's good, y'all? You dub back here again, at it again in 2019. Now, I was asked maybe a month or so ago to do a video, to do videos about, and because I do power system tournaments, power tournaments, which abilities are better, and we duke it out. But I got asked to do videos on powers and abilities going at each other individually. And I've already done a video on hockey versus Key from One Piece and Dragon Ball respective. Now we're gonna go at a classic from Hunter x Hunter and a classic from Naruto. Two of the iconic closed systems. Most power systems are open systems, meaning they're kind of they have rules, but they're kind of leave the doorway open for a lot. But closed systems, those are pretty specific by and large. So Nen and hockey. Nen and Chakra, excuse me, got many thoughts going in my head. Now, this video will break down for those, a crash course into them or, a refresher course for those it's been a while. And I'm going to help determine them by the three criteria I use in my power tournaments: versatility, ease of usage and mastery, and the effectiveness when it comes to it in a general sense. Now, for those who don't know Nen is like, how to describe what Nen is like one's life essence, really. Um, everyone pretty much has it, but very few unlock it. See, it's a little bit different from hockey in a case where hockey, every living creature has it. Okay, you just gotta figure out how to tap into it. Some tap into it on their own or different versions of it. Some train it. And then you kind of have to go through this entire training, which brings into question, which we need to find out eventually, of hopefully, how is Nen ever learned. You can get it forcefully unlocked, but that's a whole different discussion. Anyways, now the aura, the life force, uh, Nen, it's kind of affected by your mental state, your emotions and stuff, bloodlust, different things of that nature can affect your Nen and how it is perceived. Now, because everybody has it in, most people allow it to just seep through and lose it. There's ways to unlock. There's a whole process to unlock the pores in which the ore flows out, and techniques to utilize Nen. Now, there are four major principles with Nen. First, you have 10, which it keeps the pores open, but it doesn't allow the body just to haphazardly waste the energy of it. You can of course do stuff to improve the flow and improve the smoothness and all that stuff even while sleeping. Can prevent uh can slow down aging and everything surrounds the body. Second thing is Zetsu. Now Zetsu's really cool because it helps to hide one's presence. It helps to close off the aura nodes, like with a like kind of shutting off of a faucet or whatever. It helps hide the presence. Is good for tracking and things of that nature. Zetsu is really good. Now it does leave one vulnerable to attack, and it can relieve fatigue and things of that nature. Ren, this is like, and tennis is defensive. Ren is offensive. It can amplify strength and durability. It's a expulsion of a large amount of Nen of aura. Okay, and initially like 10 minutes or so, but you can train, of course, and the whole things of that nature. This can be affected by bloodlust and a number of other things. And then the last of the four major principles is Hatsu. Now, Hatsu is one's personal expression, and then it's how one personally gets down. Um, there's an entire water divination process to go into nin types, which we'll get into later, and that's where Hatsu has a good play on. And there's advanced techniques of it. There's Gyo, which you can focus on a specific area of the body, whether it be the eyes or a fist or something, and it enhances the capability in that, but it leaves one open to attacks more so. Then there's In, Iron. It helps to conceal one's presence, but unlike Zetsu, it doesn't completely stop the aura flow. It just lowers it to where one is damn near impossible to sense unless you use like Gil on the eyes. Then there's N, all right, En. En was In, N was En. This is a circular type field, a circumference, to where you can sense it. Now there's a few famous scenes. Believe Neferpitou had this wild end that just kind of went off nebulous. Forget Nobunaga, I believe the dude's name was. He had a circle. Like if you went in this circle, you were getting slashed. So there's different people that have, different levels of mastery. But this is kind of like the Byakugan and Naruto's ability to sense uh, for a wide range. And then there's Shu, which is an advanced application. And then it allows to put aura on an object, kind of like hockey in One Piece, if you will. Then there's Ko, which is a combination of Ten, Zetsu, Hatsu, Ren, and Gyo, and it's completely concentrated on a person's body. Super advanced technique. Gyo is used to focus the aura on the part of the body. Ten helps it not disperse. Zetsu is used to completely stop the flow. And Ren is used a certain amount of aura to be amplified. And like other techniques, it leaves one wide open, but it can be massively destructive. Um, Enhancers, which we'll get into later, are ones who would very much benefit, like Gon Freaks, if you watch Hunter x Hunter. Then there is Ken, which is an advanced version of Ran and Tan, which is primarily defensive. It helps them guard from attacks from all directions. There is also Ryu, which is like Gil and the state of Ken. And again, it's just another amplification. Now you get to the types of Nin, right? You have 6 categories. I still think there should be more, but that's a whole other discussion. I think there should at least be a 7th. You have enhancers, transmuters, conjurers, emissions, emitters, manipulators, and you have specialties. I said specialties, specialists, whatever. Y'all get the gist. All right. So enhancers are pretty straightforward, just like their personality. Um, they literally enhance um, the aura around them, and they're much more of a physical fire set. Transmuters, transmutation is it utilizes Nen to change its form. If you've seen Hunter x Hunter, you know Hisoka uses bungee gum. Uh, Killazodic does a lightning type ability. Then there's Conjure, where it's pretty straightforward. You conjure certain things like Kurapika, excuse me. Kurapika conjures chains. Okay. When it comes to emitters, they are able to project uh, objects, project attacks. For example, Razor was able in the Greed Island arc was able to create like these kind of like volleyball death ball things. Manipulators use their nen to manipulate objects. There was one guy in the Heavens Arena was able to use, I believe, some tops. He was able to control some tops. Um, if I remember correctly, Neferpitou, well, hers was a little bit different of an ability. Never mind. Then there's specialists, which have access to potentially any of the other five name categories. It gets wild with specialists. So there's that. That's individuals, and one can potentially become a specialist. Now, when it comes to nin users, they have their main one, their main attribute. And then the next two closest, like if you're an enhancer, it goes like this: enhancer at the top, transmuter off to your right. Then you have conjurer below it, specialist here, manipulator, emitter, and then enhancer. So an enhancer's next to what closest would be transmutation to the right and emissions to the left. Your strongest with your base ability, with yours that are next to it is like 60%, and those two down is like 40, and it's like 20% potentially the one opposite. So it gets something like that. You get less efficient with it. So that's just how it works. Now, let's go with chakra. Chakra, there are 8 chakra types: fire, water, lightning, wind, earth, yin, yang, and yin and yang release. Okay. There's an entire chakra network. I believe it's 360 chakra nodes. Okay. And chakras a lot less complicated. It's a lot less complicated than Nin. I had to list out all that because Nin is pretty specialized and pretty crazy. Chakra is a bit more of an open system than Nin is, even though they're both closed systems. Chakra allows for different jutsus of the various chakra elements. Chakra also, the Hyugas use chakra, their general fist style, to block off the chakra, and if you get chakra blocked off, chakra is also a life flow kind of thing. Um, this entire chakra network, if you out of chakra, you're pretty much dead. So yeah, if you get your chakra blocked off, you can't utilize jutsus and things of that nature. You get to potentially be able to use genjutsus, which are illusionary tactics, taijutsu, which is just hand-to-hand combat, but it can be enhanced. There's also senjutsu, which is nature-based chakra and such. Chakra internally, which is spiritually based and whatnot. I mean, that's the brief rundown. Now, if you want to get more in depth with each of the series, you can go by doing that. Chakra to me is a hell of a lot simpler than it is. Hell of a lot simpler than it is. All right, so what would I say is the best? Number one, way more people learn chakra, and it's a hell of a lot easier. We'll start with ease of mastery and usage. Chakra, by leaps and bounds, is a hell of a lot easier. We saw very few people who couldn't use chakra in the shinobi world. Now, we know the samurai, but I mean, since kids, you have people, when it comes to nin abilities, like, it's so super individualistic. It's super individualistic. And in fact, they don't want a lot of people to learn nin because there's a lot of crazy ass abilities, okay? And there's a lot of intricacies towards that. People can learn it, but it's way easier usage and mastery when it comes to chakra. He's not even close. Now the versatility definitely goes to Nen, because Nen, you have people coming up with all kinds of abilities. I always love using this line for fighting in uh any series, but I especially use it for One Piece. But in Hunter x Hunter, doggone Morel said to Killua Zoldyck during the Chimera Anarch. He said, in a wild fight, you never know what your opponent's abilities are going to be. Because he was getting on him for. Because Killua was taught as an assassin to always scope out your opponent before striking. But in a fight, you don't know what your opponent's abilities are going to be. And that's the thing. Even though chakra, it is versatile, and you have up to 8 different chakra natures, most people don't use that many. Very few people who can. Very few people are utilize the 5 regular chakra abilities, which are fire, water, earth, wind, and lightning. Okay, so you're usually going to deal with a person, and of course there are Kekkei Genkai abilities which combine those as well. We get that, or Kekkei Genkai abilities that are their bloodline traits that allow for specific things to a specific clan, and there are also seal jutsus and things of that nature. But the thing is, Nan, you have entire times where people are fighting just to figure out one's Nin ability, so to not slip up. Just because you're super powerful, you don't know what might be coming your way. So Nin definitely has the versatility. The effectiveness is where it gets massively interesting. Because on one hand, Chakra, by and large, hell of a lot more powerful. If we're talking just pure destruct, we done seen way more feats from Chakra than we ever saw with Nin. But the thing about Nin is, Nin can do so many different damn. It's almost up to the person's imagination when Nin. And see, the thing about Nin's not always so much competitive, which you might think, oh, then that means Chakra has the edge. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And the thing about Nin is, a non-Nin user is not going to be able to see the Nin usage. That's the thing. So it comes down to, what is it that you're looking for in a fight? If you're just looking for straight up destructive capacity, then you go with Chakra. But if you're looking for something that a more well-rounded with a fighting system, I have to go with Nin. Nin, while it's not as easy to learn and utilize, if you're talking about a Nin user versus a Chakra user, by and large, instead of some of the amp top tiers, we're not going by them. If you're talking just a regular fighter, what are we looking at here? A Chakra user who will probably only have a couple Chakra natures, okay, and you can figure that thing out, that probably won't have a hell of a lot of Chakra pools, versus a Nin user who, if we're talking about been trained a couple decades, been training at this for real, is a very versatile fighter, is someone who's skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Not saying that, a Chakra user cannot be a taijutsu specialist, but who doesn't rely on the same old tricks. Hunter x Hunter, you have generally much higher levels of strategy than you do in Naruto, because Naruto, you can get away with just massive attacks, or you can get away with pretty straightforward attacks. You cannot do that. It's a hell of a lot more difficult to figure out what a Nin user brings to the table. Nin user also has the ability to conceal himself easier, has the ability to sense you easier, unless you have someone like a uh, Byaku, Byakugan user. Sorry, I have too many blurs can intertwined. Has the ability to pour Nin on on an object, on a weapon, has an ability to enhance defense and offense. So you're coming up with a more skilled fighter with God knows what he's going to be bringing to the table. So I have to give the edge to Nan, but of course it depends on the fighter. But overall, I'm saying Nan is the would be best for fighting. Unexpected Wonder, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts, because I'm pretty sure some of y'all may choose chakra. This is a hard one. This is a very, very difficult splitting hairs, but I had to go with the conclusion because of all of what Nin brings to the table. Let me know what y'all think. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.